All right, are you there? I didn't hit the open like we usually do because we've got a couple of things going on here.
Are
Uh,
you sure it even opened? I don't see anybody in the chat room.
yeah, I do. If you're in the chat room, say something. Yeah. Maybe it didn't. Oh, we're streaming. Numbers are going up. Okay, Ed's there. Okay, Steve's there. There you go. Steve got beat by Ed. Okay, so yeah, we were having a problem with the links. How did you get yours figured out? James had the same message that you had, but he seemed to think that was a bonus because he's now hooking up his social networks. What was the issue?
I don't know. It just said something about trying to hook up my social networks, and I tried to hook them up, and I don't know if it did or it didn't, because then it said error occurred when I was trying to hook them up. So I don't know.
All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to. Hey, Ed. I'm going to send Ed a link. Let's see if Ed wants to pop in for a second. Maybe he'll be able to explain what was going on with the link when you know what I mean, because he'll see what it is. All right, I'm doing the exact same thing I always do. Invite guests. Oh, I just realized I don't know what Ed's email is. Well, let's see if it comes up. All right. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what email he'd like me to use. So we'll just call him. Hi, everybody. These are the things we go through. Or he could just call me. That'd be easier. But if he's listening, I see he's in there. Oh, wow. I haven't called Ed in a while. Don't worry. We'll get it started. We'll get going.
Hi, this is Ed. Still on my voicemail.
He's in the chat room.
Give me a message. What? I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Okay. Ed, what? There he is. Okay. I was like, what the hell? You're in the chat room. You're sending me straight to voicemail.
I flew home today from San Francisco and my phone was on Do Not Disturb.
How are the bathhouses?
I wouldn't know.
All right. So we were getting something weird going on with E. He was having difficulty connecting, and James got the same thing. So can I send you a link and you can maybe tell us what's different? Because I didn't do anything different.
Really? You want to do this now rather than just do your show?
Well, yeah, because James is still not here. James is having problems with it. So
has James closed his browser and reopened it?
I don't know. Has E? I don't know.
No, he's got a really bad habit of never closing his browser.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we won't. We'll worry about it tomorrow. Did you do something different, E? Did you like close out?
No, it just finally when you sent me the fourth link, it
So it
did it the old way. But
yeah,
first
why would it do that? Why is it sending him links that say hook up your social networks or something like that? Would you know?
Yeah, I have no idea what you're looking at.
Well, you can just pop in, can't you, and take one for yourself and send it to yourself and look at it.
All right. I mean, let me hang up. I'll do that.
All right. He's laying in bed. Here he thought he was going to have a nice little couple of seconds to listen in and hang out in the chat room before he dozes off to sleep. And now we're putting him to work. I still don't know where Parker is. Don't worry, E. We'll get into your bad beat. I mushed you. Everybody I root for loses. I mushed you. And my apologies.
Dude, it was just the stupidest play in the history of stupid plays.
Which one?
Going for it. Like
oh, really? So you got a problem with McVay?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, are you having troubles?
No, here I'm logging in.
Well, Jesus, we're having troubles, and then what? You slow roll me for 10 minutes? Ugh, jeez. All right, so there he is. All right, here he comes. James, what was different about the link that you received tonight?
The link that I received tonight, there was an extra screen in it before I get to the one that checks to make sure, hey, you want your camera and your microphone access, and this is what you look like. Don't you look handsome? Now join stream. There was another one before that. It was like, hey, you have a Restream account too. why don't we just send this exact same stream to some of your channels that you already have pre-programmed into your stream?
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to see what kind of weight you pull. We're going to see what kind of,
Hang on, I'm getting a phone call. Just a second.
Yeah, no, take it on the air. That's fine. We're a live room here. I appreciate the live room. In the meantime, welcome to the Pillow Talk edition of Pugs and Company, heard each and every night. Well, Sunday through Thursday nights here at 10 o'clock. Goes to whenever. That's the way I'm doing it now. Whenever. We also rally back here in the morning, or actually we rally back here at night. We begin our broadcast day or our narrow. Oh, look at that. All right. We begin that every day at noon. Hi, Ed. Did you have anything different about the link?
Worked fine. I probably sound and look like crap because I don't have my rig with me, but I didn't get any problems at all.
You look fantastic.
Okay, then.
James, explain to Ed what you got, because you probably are more better at that than me and he.
Yeah. So there was an extra screen when I got the Restream link, and instead of just going straight to the screen where it checks your frame and you the fact that it's accessing both your camera and your microphone, and then it double checks your name. I put in James Parker there. There was a screen before that it says, hey, we kind of recognize that you have a Restream account. You want to send this to some of the channels that you already have pre-programmed into your account. And I said yes.
Okay.
So did I do something different? I mean,
I have no idea. I don't think so.
Well, let's not worry about it. We're fine. And all I can tell you, Ed, is that if you were not the person in that box, you would be having a shit fit about the lighting in that box.
I would be.
Are you in high def? James is finally in high def.
No, is he? Because I can't tell on this little screen.
I don't know. He looks good. I don't know. He looks better than he used to. All right. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it. Now go to bed.
Good show.
Wash your bunghole. He travels a couple of times a year to frequent the bathhouses in San Francisco. Bye, Ed. There he goes. Do they still? That's it. He makes all this possible. All right. So show is delayed today because it wasn't just any old Monday Night Football game. This was a game that we actually care about around here, these parts, Pugs and Company, is the Buffalo Bills. And I, for the first time today and during the high noon broadcast, I admitted to my rival, to my arch nemesis when it comes to all things rooting, that I was, in fact, a closeted Buffalo Bills fan and would be openly, for the first time when in the presence of E, rooting for the same team as him. And we see how that worked out. So,
did they lose? I didn't watch it.
I mushed him. I totally mushed him. I'm telling you, this has been happening to me. White Sox, I mushed my White Sox. Notre Dame, watched the entire Cincy game against Notre Dame. I mushed them. Let's see, there was another football game over the weekend. Which one was that I was watching that I mushed? I don't know. And now here, my Bears, I mushed my Bears against the Packers because I was really certain that we were going to win that one. And tonight, I mushed the Bills, and I feel really bad. Now, did you really not see it, James? Or do you have no idea?
No, I really didn't see it.
Oh, it was a hell of a game, man. I'm telling you, the NFL, they've been having some wang-dang-dilly of games these past couple of weeks. This one was particularly good. I thought there was no way in hell that the Bills were going to lose this game. It seemed to me that Josh Allen could pull out a 20-yard pass anytime he wanted the entire game. And it came down to fourth quarter. The Bills were down 4 points. It was first and goal. Well, actually, at this point, it got all the way down to fourth and goal. But they were in the red zone. 1 yard, 2 yard. What was it? They needed just 1 yard to get another 1st and 10 in the red zone, right? It was like 1 yard.
They didn't even need a yard. They needed like 6 inches.
Okay, so they needed 6. They were already at like the 2-yard line. And if they had just gotten 1 yard of the 2, they'd have gotten a whole new set of downs. And then it would have been 1st and goal from like the 1 yard line. And I don't know what the hell happened. I watched it live in front of me. I couldn't believe what Josh Allen, who is basically money in this situation, he appeared to slip on the quarterback sneak. He needed 6 inches. It was 4th and inches. He needed just to fall forward. It seemed to me that it was
They
Josh
kick
Allen.
a field goal, it goes to overtime. It's the stupidest play I've ever
Not
seen.
the Buffalo way. When you got Josh Allen and all you need are 6
Yeah,
inches,
how'd that work out
you
for him?
roll them to. No, you're right. But I thought it was a smart look. Hey, hindsight is what it is. In the moment, I was like, yeah, you go for it. You're damn right. You go play ties are for losers.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh Allen slipped, and he didn't come anywhere close to getting the 6 inches that were needed. And then I decided that I am a mush. And you're blaming coach. Is this a hindsight, or in the moment did you like the play?
No, I didn't like the play.
You wanted the 3.
I mean,
Even with Buffalo,
you had
State,
22 seconds. You still might have to end up kicking the 3 if you don't get in.
Chat overlay. Okay, all right. We'll do the chat overlay. I just said what happened to chat. There you go. I keep forgetting. There we go. Chat over. Okay, chat overlay is on, but it's not working.
Well, no, when they type the next message, it'll start.
Okay. So it won't just show everything there. Yeah. Yeah, you want to rant? You want to? Or
No, I don't want to rant. It's stupid.
Bugs, you want to hit some jokes?
I'll tell you what. Yeah, no, we're not ready for that yet. I'll tell you what, though. Boy, that Derrick Henry is a beast. Man, that dude is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
He busted a big run. I think it was like 76 yards. I mean, I honestly don't remember a guy. Marshawn Lynch, he wasn't that big, but he was different. Jerome Bettis, he wasn't that big. He may have been wider, but he was. I don't think I've ever seen a running back like Derrick Henry. Seriously, that was pretty damn incredible.
You got to go back to like the Christian Okoye phase, where there were a few just gigantic running backs that happened in the 90s.
Yeah, but I don't know, man.
I
don't remember. I mean, I remember the Nigerian Nightmare. I remember him playing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember just being struck by the sheer size. I mean, he looks like an offensive lineman, Derrick Henry. I mean, that dude is massive.
Yeah.
And then there was another play he busted off. I think it was probably like 20 yards. And I can't think of the dude's name. Your safety. It was just your safety who was left. And it was all by himself.
It's a bad feeling if you're the safety.
Oh, man. He had, as they said, he had to earn his paycheck on that one because he just went down and, I mean, he got him. He got him, but he took a hit, boy. It was just like a brick wall coming right at you. Yeah, I guess I can laugh about it because I'm not really all that tethered to the Buffalo Bills. I just like them. And their uniforms looked fantastic. I mean, they won. Hey, they won the battle of the uniforms. So that's good.
Yeah, great.
Or are they doing all whites?
Yeah. They did like the classic all whites. All right, so we'll open up here with a new segment we like to do here on the show. I got to find it now. All right. Which one is the music? Which one is the theme music?
Monologue bed. Just hit that one.
Which one?
Monologue bed.
I don't see that.
And then the one that just says bed.
No. I got a bunch of PSAs from you here. Those are older. I got a plot. Oh, man. I'm sorry. All right. So this is what we're going to do here, I guess. Here we go. It's James.
Monologue in. That was the ending one. That's what you play after I tell the last joke.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. All right, we're working this out.
No, this is going good. This is seamless.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Tiki Lounge with his comedy stylings of all the day's news, it's James.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome to Monologue. I'm your host, James. Applause. Applause, yeah. I introduced myself. Hello.
All right, well, I thought maybe we were going to let the bed go. It's been a long time since I've produced on the fly.
All right. Former President Bill Clinton has been released from a California hospital after being treated for an infection. Did you hear about this? He had the blood sepsis thing or something, but doctors prescribed antibiotics and urged him to start using condoms. Bill Clinton fans or condom haters, either one. According to a new study, using the internet too much can cause psychological problems. The good news is, though, there is help available online. Thank you. Wasn't that good. All right. During a concert in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Motley Crue singer Vince Neil fell off the front of the stage. Fortunately, he was wearing his Life Alert pendant.
I'm just randomly hitting these because I've never
That's
listened
fine.
to
I
them
think you
before.
might have oversold that one, but that's okay. According to a new survey, 27% of Americans believe that God influences sports outcomes. And of those, 80% believe God has forsaken the Detroit Lions. Thank you. According to a new study, women who cheat may have a biological reason beyond their control, but in many cases, they're just whores.
Sis.
Okay, fair enough. According no, you lean on that one, what you do. What you do. Wasn't that bad. All right. According to the World Health Organization, there are steps you can take to improve your chances of living to 100. You see, they put out this checklist. The first one on the checklist, you have to live to age 99. All right. And finally,
Yeah.
you for the okay. Happy birthday to Patrick Simmons. He's of the Doobie Brothers, and I don't want to say he's getting old, but he's lost interest in playing Blackwater. Now he's
Stepped on it. Sorry. Start again. Sorry.
the guy from Doobie Brothers. You know how they play Blackwater. Nowadays they play Orange Metamucil. That's the joke. No, you're supposed to hit monologue end after the last one, no matter what. Monologue end. We'll get this down.
So this is the guy that used to write jokes for Jay Leno.
Yes.
I mean,
That was good.
I can hear Jay Leno doing some of them.
Yeah. That was
His goal was to get one a night. If he just gets one a night, because he also sells the joke sheet to radio shows like morning shows around the country, and he only has like a handful, but they pay him like $100 a month.
You know what the sad thing is that a lot of those morning shows, they won't do it the way you do it. They don't admit that it's somebody
None of them
bad jokes. They just pretend like it's their own. Like,
No, I've grown the art of telling bad jokes.
well, that's
Been working on that one.
that was good. Although there was one that I want here. I want what's this one? What is this here? I hit it. It didn't fire. What's the point of that one?
Okay, so at the beginning of CSI, you know how
Yeah, well, I know what it is. It's the
throws out the punch, puts on his sunglasses, and drops just a bad pun. Right?
All right, so that's where we are.
It's like he does this. He's like, well, I guess it's true. Third time really is a charm. It's always some day pun like that. And so whenever I do a dad joke that's really, really bad and it's just really, really pun, you hit that. And it's meant as kind of like an insult. So
okay, all right, very cool. That's good.
But John Cena is when I say like this year for Halloween, trick or treaters are expected to consume 248 tons of candy, but that's down 2 tons from last year because Mr. Producer's mom's on a diet, and then you get
like that.
It's like a sick burn. Reaction.
Oh, that's a sick burn. Is that what that is? Okay.
Not a regular burn. It has to be a sick burn.
Very good. I went looking for jokes, current events jokes online, and not a lot of really good ones. Or they would have required way too much work on my part. And I decided like 10 minutes into it, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna let James do it. He's got the sheet. Let him just read them off the sheet. All right, what's going on with you? You do not. You look like you are really letting this whole Buffalo loss today fester. You're 4-2. You're still one of the best teams in the league. You're probably going to the Super Bowl. Well, you got to just stomach it and walk away.
It's just stupid. It's irritating. It's very irritating. But I'll get over it.
You're gonna be of no help here. Look at you. You're just gonna let this.
It's just irritating. Like, I don't even know how you do that. Like, I don't know.
So is Bills Mafia all freaked out now about Sean McDonough not being a good coach? Because he's a good coach. He's a good coach.
Well, and it's not like the Tennessee Titans are trash. They're at the top of their little division.
Oh, there were so many plays that we just left points on the field. I
If
mean,
you
it
had
was just
watched if you had watched this game, the better team did not win. The Tennessee Titans were not the better team tonight. I don't know how they pulled. Well, Derrick Henry had a really big night. He had a giant, and then that kickoff return, Buffalo returned to kick 101 yards, and it got called back because some dummy. That's the worst. That is the worst. When one of the guys, one of the scrubs, who's probably like a week off the practice squad, holds on a 101-yard kickoff return, and you're like,
oh, that does suck. That does suck.
And then there was a really awful injury too that looked really bad, but I guess it turned out to be all right. A Tennessee Titans player, I thought broken neck. It looked like, oh my God. Put him on the backboard, and then he wasn't moving. Like I always look for that. Like you always look for like when they're on the ground, are the feet moving, are the hands moving? This dude was perfectly still until they got him like halfway off the field, and then he gave the thumbs up. But even then, his feet weren't moving, and I'm like, oh boy. Said a little prayer, even though I'm not a man of faith. I did my little genuflect, my little cross thing, signs of the cross thing. It's a little prayer for him. And guess what? It worked. I saved his life. He's totally fine. It was just a
Good
concussion.
job, Pugs.
Thank you.
That was nice of you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Man of no faith.
Literally healing the sick.
That was scary. No, that was scary, right? I mean, did you see it? Did you?
Yeah, it was scary. He did give the thumbs up on his way out, which is more than the guy did the night before. But evidently, the guy the night before had negative MRIs, negative CAT scans, and he is possibly going to be able to play next Monday.
The guy,
Seattle Seahawks guy.
The guy last night in Pittsburgh, they actually showed the ambulance pulling out of the stadium and going to the hospital in Pittsburgh. And I'm like, ooh, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't think I've ever seen a tracking shot of the ambulance as it leaves. The guy tonight didn't even go to the hospital, at least not right away. They took him in the building,
and he was up and walking in the dressing room, and he would be fine as well. So
that's good
news there.
Yeah, football, scary ass sport. I had a guy when I was on the sophomore team, a guy who played on our varsity, and his sophomore team ends and you end up sticking around and you watch the game. He broke his neck right there on the field. Ooh. Yeah, broke his neck. That was scary, man. They brought a helicopter and they landed a helicopter and they flew him all the way to some like special place that wasn't like the local hospital. He was fine though. He just spent like the next year in one of those halo things, but he wasn't paralyzed or anything like that. But yeah, he broke his neck. That's whenever I think about my kid playing football, I always think about that kid. Don. His name was Don. What was his? I don't know. He's an older dude, but man, that was not good.
Oh, how quickly you forget.
Yeah,
we remember this forever. I thought it was a traumatic event. Apparently you just brushed it off.
I remember Don. That's good enough. Don Baker, maybe? Maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure. I am sweating really bad because I don't have the air on, and I wonder if it's this light that gives me all kinds of... All right, what do we got going on tonight? Let's see. Let's start off here. We'll start out the way we like to start off each and every show. How about this? This is a moment of joy for you. Now, I got to... Is it showing? It's not showing. Why is it not showing? Oh, hold on. There we go. Share screen. I got to ask you to watch this. It's cute. It's dog stuff. Cute dog stuff. Here we go. Okay. Are you watching? Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. Watch this. This is adorable. Cute dog stuff. Don't take your eyes off. So apparently what's happening with
war?
What's that?
Is that a tug of war?
Yeah, these two dogs are locked in a tug of war, and there's absolutely nothing that can happen that is going to make them stop their tug of war. There you go. Look at that. Did you catch it or did you look away?
Oh, I caught it.
These dogs are locked into this thing, and here they're doing it again. Locked in, and... Yeah, there you go.
So Brown Dog's like, so you're pretty locked into that tug of war there, huh? And Dog's like, yeah. He's like, how locked into it are you? I'm really locked in. It's like, okay, but I mean, how locked into it?
Here, I got another one. I got another moment of joy for you because I couldn't decide today. So here, let's look at this one. All right, you want to see a monkey working in the kitchen? Of course you do. Who doesn't want to see a monkey working in the kitchen?
Man, me.
Let me direct your attention to his face whenever he snaps the beans. Look at that guy. Ah,
Yes.
I couldn't decide. It was between dogs banging and this little monkey guy who's been put to work.
Oh, this is way better.
You think so?
Look, you should always default to the monkey if it's a quick monkey.
Whenever possible, go monkey.
What is like the point of snapping those beans in half?
Working?
I don't know.
You helping mommy snap beans?
I love the look at the facial expression when he snaps the
Loves
beans. Yeah, look at what. What's it?
It's like popping bubble wrap. I love this guy. I want him.
Yeah, this is what they do when they aren't throwing crap, masturbating, or ripping neighbors' faces off. That's
Right.
fun. So if you can just kind of balance.
You know what? One time a monkey rips a lady's face off in Connecticut, and all of a sudden, all monkeys are face rippers.
And that wasn't even a monkey. That's unfair to monkeys. That was a gorilla. That was like an ape. That wasn't just.
It was an ape. It was a chimpanzee, which doesn't have a tail, so it's an ape, not a monkey. Got it.
Oh, are those the rules? Is that how?
Yeah, that's the rules. Apes don't have tails. Monkeys do.
All right. Let's see. Also, I like to ask a question here, so let's do this one. Here's a question for you. All right. So we started this on Friday, or the last time we did one of these shows. So what was the question? Do you remember what the question was?
Well, when's the last time you wrote a letter?
No, that was a question you asked. It was what was it? It was something about. I don't know. Here's today's question. All right, for you, James, and this is an oldie but a goodie. Maybe you've heard this one before, so you might actually have a thought. Would you rather fight 10 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck? James?
Oh, it's definitely the 10 duck-sized horses. Definitely. A horse-sized duck could just peck you and kill you. Just a blunt force impact on your head, concussion, you're out, and then it just pecks you. You're dead.
Yeah. Okay. E, what about you? Would you rather fight 10 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
I think I would go with James as well. The 10 duck-sized horses.
Right? Because what's a horse gonna
I mean, okay, if it's the size of a duck and a horse is going to do something bad to you, basically they're going to kick you. So that's going to be like getting kicked at your ankles. I don't think that's going to put you really in any kind of jeopardy.
All right, very good. All right, thank you. I'll write these down and we'll add these to your file. The distinction made here that I think is very important is that these are ducks. Have you ever hung out with ducks? Have you ever been around ducks? Are cowardly. Ducks are not anything that you need to worry about.
Right. Geese are aggressive, but ducks are
I was getting to. See,
Yeah.
you know where I'm going.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I
know
have
the
been surrounded. I can show you a picture of my backyard with thousands of ducks or geese, Canadian geese. They used my backyard in Chicago as like a landing pad. I lived on a wetland preserve, which was, this connection of overflowing waters and streams. It's crazy. And all of the ducks would land in my back, or the geese, call them geese. They would land in my backyard. And I went out there with my kid once when he was like 6 years old, and we were feeding them. And slowly over the course of, you get the thing of bread and you throw them bread. And slowly over the course of about 10 minutes, we were completely surrounded by hundreds of these geese. And it was scary, man, because they hiss. Have you ever seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, we had to make a run for it. I picked them up and we had to run to the fence and open the gate. But boy, oh boy, should you ever find yourself, golfers tell these stories a lot. You ever find yourself mixed up with a duck or a goose? I keep calling them ducks because really, what's the difference? Well, I'm telling you the difference. You accidentally walk by a goose's nest where there's like eggs or something. Oh boy. They get mad. They're scary. I don't think they could actually do anything. Like if push came to shove, I could just, step on them and stuff. But they're aggressive. They front well. They put up more of like they might be posers, but still, I don't mess with no geese. So yeah, you're right. We'll go with that way with the duck, the horse size. No,
Duck-sized horses.
Duck-sized horses. All right, very good.
Or the
I'll-
perfect kicking height too. They're just teed up on their little horse legs, and their little mini legs.
Ducks and geese are not similar in the least bit. Says Ed.
Well, they have bills and they're waterfowl, and that's a pretty exclusive club.
They're very similar.
Yeah, it's
what
probably
are you
the
talking about? In the
the
least,
closest thing to a duck probably is a goose, and the closest thing to a goose probably is a duck. So yeah,
we're not talking about mongoose and geese, right? I mean, we're talking about ducks and geese. They're almost the exact same thing. One's just a lot meaner. And I think
Edward's
that's
splitting
better.
hairs.
Okay. So, anything going on, guys? Anything you want to bring to the table? I got a
Yeah,
couple.
I do. I got
What do you got?
dude, I've got what is the Babe Ruth or the Tom Brady of fake artifacts.
Oh,
Yeah, so over the last 22 years, there's this dude. Our hero's name is Merdad Sadiq. I have no idea if I'm saying that right, but
hey, E, don't you have a friend named Merdad, or is that his last name?
I do. No,
Is that the
I
first
have a
name?
friend named Merdad. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but is that first name or last name?
First name.
First. Okay, so maybe that's a common name. I'd never heard it before. But okay, what's this dude's name?
Merdad. His name's Merdad Sadiq.
Okay.
And he's a New York antiquities dealer. He runs a Sadiq gallery, and it's in Manhattan. It's just at a cross street of like 43rd and something or other. So and it just looks like one of these little bodega places where you go in and they have these amazing artifacts. And some of them are sort of recent, like some coins that were found from a shipwreck in the Caribbean. But some of them are as old as like 2,000-3,000 years. These old little trinkets that came out of Egypt. And then like here's a bust of a pharaoh, not Tutankhamun, but the dude right before him.
A lesser pharaoh.
And so he just got busted. They're all fakes. They are all.
Oh, what a surprise.
Everything's fake, but he's been doing this since like 1999.
What does he sell these things for? Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about, because you'd think that anything that was legit would be at like Sotheby's or something,
Okay, there's some real ridiculous expensive ones, but they're the exception. There was like a full sarcophagus that he sold for like $50,000. But what's more common in the store is like, here we have a portrait head of an ancient Roman woman. We don't know her name, but it was just unearthed in a dig, and it would sell for $4,000. This is what they were presenting in the story that I read.
And they would have some form of certification, obviously bogus certification, but there would be, right? You spend that much money on something, you want some kind of piece of paper that says,
yeah. And once you dupe one crowd, it's real easy to sort of
word of
branch
mouth.
out. Well, because you can have on the wall of your gallery, here you were part of the Sonsby's auction or the whoever else art auction, or you were named by the Dallas Observer as like the kick-ass art gallery of the 90s, or there. Once you get a little bit of press, the credibility builds on itself.
Hey, where'd you get the cool sarcophagus? Oh, at a bodega.
Right. Yeah. So if you go to like 43rd and 5th Avenue, there's a little showroom there. And if you say, wow, this is from the era of Marcus Aurelius, a great Roman emperor that was almost 2,000 years ago. And I'm going to get this, and it's $4,000, and it doesn't even look that good, but I could have this in my living room. And so, he sells the story and people buy it. And the second they walk out with the head, he goes in the back, kind of spray paints and chucks up another one and puts it on the display. So he has this whole little workshop where he takes just sort of normal looking sculptures and he like sands them down and like makes the nose wear off a little bit and chips part of it out, and then puts some like a little spray paint from a distance so it looks like it's been weathered. And he's got the fake, the forgeries down to kind of an art. Like I said, he's like the Babe Ruth. He's like the Bob Ross. He is the Tom Brady of fake artifacts, and he's made millions of dollars over the last 22 years at the Sadiq Gallery. And I think I've even walked past this thing, 43rd and 5th. I mean, that's kind of in the stomping grounds of where you hang out if you're doing a radio trip.
Was that Midtown?
Yep, Midtown Manhattan. So he has pleaded not guilty earlier this month, but it looks like he changed his mind and he's going down.
Now, E, I remember back when you had your palatial pad out in the suburbs, you had some kind of old-timey, doors, right? Didn't you have some, like, weird
Yeah, I
sort of
did.
tell me, what were
Still
those?
do. I still have them.
Where are they?
They're at the gallery,
Oh, they're over at the
at the
gallery.
studio. Yeah.
Now, what were they're like giant, Mexican, right? They're like
No, they were
not
doors from Bali, so Indonesia.
okay, so but they're, like, supposed to be ancient or just really
Well,
old?
they were ancient shopkeeper doors. Like, they would use them at their house and kind of in their shop. It would kind of be together.
Some white guy just ripped him off the sacred temple in the center of town. Oh, this would be
No.
funny if we sell it to Dallas.
Yeah. These were, yeah, I mean, when I went there, they were actually on, I don't know, just like in Bali, they have a lot of old artifacts, and
So
they
you
have
bought them in
villages.
Bali?
Yes. And then I sent them over on a shipping crate. I bought a lot of stuff over there
Yeah,
because they have like,
yeah, as one is wont to do when they go to Bali.
well,
the
it
old
is.
Spend
Great,
thousands
right?
of dollars on
You think-
ancient doors.
You think Pugs and I have ever put anything in a shipping crate?
You think
Well,
we've
I
even
mean, if you
considered
go
going to
there,
Bali?
they have like the people, they make offerings, like food offerings to the, I don't know, to the Balinesian gods, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
and so they'll put, even though the people in the country are starving, they make these food offerings daily to the
Does it
gods.
work?
I mean, they're kind of still in the situation they're in.
Right? It's not working, guys.
And so then they'll have villages where they teach certain like trades, and like one village will be people that make jewelry, like silver jewelry and stuff. Another one will be where people do wood carving. Another one would be like where people do stone carving. And so they make all these different artifacts, and everything there is really, really inexpensive. And you can fill up a shipping container, and that's probably the most expensive part of it. And then you put it on a boat and you get it here. And then when you get it here, like a lot of those, places that you'll see that are selling stuff that looks like it's from overseas, they probably went over there and bought it and stuck it in a shipping container and brought it over here and then marked it up like 10 or 12 times.
What did you go to Bali for?
Vacation. I went to the Four Seasons in one part of Bali, and then I went to another one in like the middle of the jungle.
You don't go to Bali and stay at the Motel 6.
No.
If you're going to Bali, where is Bali? I don't even know where Bali.
Like we had to fly to Hong Kong, and that was like
no way.
It's right above
20.
Australia.
It was like 20 hours, and then
Australians go there. It's like the Australian Cancun.
I can't go there.
I went to Hong Kong, and I was there for like about 3 or 4 days, and then after we were in Hong Kong for 3 or 4 days, we went to Bali for like about a week.
You know what I know about Bali? Here's the one thing I know about Bali. The air temperature is the exact same as the water temperature. So when you walk into the water on the beaches of Bali, you can't even tell that you're wet because it's exactly the same temperature. Is that true, or is that just something people say?
Yeah, I remember that. Like the beaches were cool.
It's supposed to be an incredibly bizarre experience. Like
what is really bizarre is how people travel on the roads, like on mini bikes and motorcycles, and like there's just mass traffic, and I don't know how they don't have like a gazillion deaths a day.
Yeah,
from just the way people travel there. And then like I remember like a really scenic view would be like looking at rice fields and paddies. And then I played this really crazy golf course where you went up into the mountains, and like you would get to almost like where it was freezing cold and you had to like bundle up, and then you came down into the like this desert area and it was kind of like warm. And they had built it that way. I don't know, just a lot of crazy stuff over there, but it was cool.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever go to that part of the world. Too long of a plane fight, as we've covered previously on these shows. I can't be on a plane that long. All right, so here I got something. Anybody here? Either of you guys Mel Brooks fans? Mel Brooks.
I'm a casual Mel
Eh,
Brooks fan. I'm Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles. Sign me up.
Give me expand on that reaction to Mel Brooks.
I don't know. I think he's like overrated.
So do I. So I feel like it's blasphemous for me to say it, but man, I mean, Spaceballs, I love Spaceballs. That's probably my favorite thing that he's ever done. And I don't think I even really appreciate. I was like 12 when Spaceballs came out, so I was a moron. Don't take anything that, anything that I liked at 12. Don't make me carry that for the rest of my life. But I recently rewatched Spaceballs with my kid, who was also little, probably 10 or 11 or so, maybe it was last year, and we loved it. So Spaceballs is kind of one of those movies we do lines back and forth. But I gotta be honest, man, Blazing Saddles, I do not think that's a funny movie. People get so angry at me when they're like, and it's not because it's not. I just think that the jokes are really lowest common denominator. I think it's all just a bunch of like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay. History of the World, however, that is the exception. I love Mel Brooks' History of the World. Have both of you guys seen that?
Yeah, it's been a while, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, here's the thing. History of the World was called History of the World Part 1. And I don't know if that was a Mel Brooks joke that he had never intended to make a History of the World Part 2 or what. Like the movie was called History of the World Part 1, and then he had no intention of ever making it. That seems like a very Mel Brooksian kind of joke, As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, Mel would be my third favorite Brooks, even. He's not even my favorite Brooks comedy writer. I think that would have to go to number 1 would be Albert Brooks. Number 2 would be James Brooks, creator of The Simpsons or exec producer and all of that. James L. Brooks, I guess, is what he goes by. And then I put Mel Brooks in there at number 3. Now, that's not to say he seems like a wonderful man. Every time I see an interview with him, he seems like a really funny old guy, and he's still kicking. He's like almost 100 years old. But here's the deal. He is now executive producing, finally, a History of the World Part 2 for Hulu. Hulu, ladies and gentlemen. Hulu.
How old is he?
Let's see.
Got to be like Clint Eastwood age.
Yeah, let's see. It's got to have his age here, right? How old is Clint Eastwood? Do you remember?
90. 90 or 91, I think.
Mel Brooks is 95.
95, 96. I think I saw 96. Are you reading 95?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's what
Melvin
it is.
Kaminsky, June 28, 1926.
I mean, do you think it's even possible that he could be in touch with an audience that's like in its teens, 20s, and 30s?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I just don't think that's even like in his range.
You know who his best friend is?
Who?
Carl Reiner. Did he recently die, or is he still alive?
No idea.
Well,
probably alive.
You had access to.
That's not Rob. Rob Reiner was
Meathead.
That's not him.
No, it's his son. Meathead is Carl Reiner's son. Carl Reiner was a comedy writer, producer. Not really so much known as an actor, although he was an actor. He's probably most famous for being Alan Brady on the Dick Van Dyke Show. You remember Alan Brady, the boss?
No.
No, you don't remember Alan. My God, here's one right in your wheelhouse. I didn't think James would get the Alan Brady reference.
Dick Van Dyke, he was the guy that would come out and fall over the ottoman in the opening.
Yeah, he was a.
So, I'm trying to think of his boss.
His boss was very rarely seen. He was almost always screaming, kind of like Charlie from Charlie's Angels, but occasionally he was seen. And that was Carl Reiner. Carl Reiner was the executive producer and creator of the Dick Van Dyke Show, and he also played that role. But they're like best friends, and they're both like in their late 90s. They're like, well, I guess.
So what audience is Hulu going after?
Well,
that they would get Mel Brooks.
Well, here's the thing. Mel Brooks, this is why I'm bringing this up, because as I said, I think that Mel Brooks is a little bit overrated. I don't love his stuff the way that other people love his stuff.
He's not that highly rated though. Can you be overrated if you're not really A-list,
Well,
B-list,
yeah, I
B-list?
think he's highly rated. He's one of them EGOT winners. You know what an EGOT is,
Oh,
James?
really? He has everything?
He's got everything. Do you know what an EGOT is, E?
I'm assuming that's like he has an Academy Award,
Yeah, an EGOT is an
an
Emmy, a
Emmy.
Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. He has won the entire, and there's only like a handful of people who are EGOTs, but it's a very prestigious thing. But then you realize Whoopi Goldberg's an EGOT.
Right.
It's like, well,
Totally
Well,
tore
why
it down with
isn't
that,
that?
didn't you?
I mean, she's done some good roles.
yeah, but when I think of like, the all-time greats, which is what you would assume an EGOT is, I don't really think of Whoopi. Yeah, she's done fine roles. She's been fine.
She's
But I don't think an EGOT should be someone you describe as she's fine. She's she's just she's all right.
yeah, some lady who's literally named Karen but wants to go by Whoopi.
Oh, is that her name, Karen?
I think it's Karen, and it's something real pedestrian like that.
You talk. First of all, you're talking to a Pugs. What the hell? What are you taking shots at that for? Should I get Boomer Esiason on the phone so you can yell at him for not wanting? But this is a very common thing. Well, it was kind of a weak shot. All right, so here's why Hulu is doing it, and this is where it kind of makes sense and has me interested in it. Now, I've already said that I'm a fan of History of the World Part 1. He's not really going to be doing anything other than allowing, the name of his franchise to be used in this new series on Hulu. He has the writers of this are pretty good. Nick Kroll, do you like Nick Kroll?
Heck yeah.
Nick Kroll is a genius, I think. I think he's incredibly funny. Genius at modern comedy. I'll say I don't want to really, he's not a genius, but he's, he's really funny. You got Nick Kroll, Wanda Sykes, Ike Barinholtz, David Strassen, who I don't know, and Kevin Salter, who I do. That's like a murderer's row of like modern comedy writers. So they're creating this show for Hulu with Mel Brooks being the executive producer. You know what I mean? What's the writer's room going to be like? I don't think that Mel Brooks is going to be showing up in the writer's room exchanging gags.
At 95, yeah.
At 95 years old. And also, Mel Brooks has always look. Mel Brooks comes out and does something new. He can be canceled right away. It's only going to make people watch, Blazing Saddles again, or go through his resume with a fine tooth comb. This world is not built for Mel Brooks's comedy sensibility.
Yeah, I just don't. I think like I don't even. What are they thinking?
Well, no, I think they're onto something with the team that they've put together. This is going to be a very funny show. I mean, Nick Kroll doesn't do things that aren't funny. What they're thinking is they're going to use the Mel Brooks brand. That's you got a brand there. So they'll lure in older people who want to come take a look-see. Who, well, here, History of the World Part 1 is finally getting a Part 2 with Hulu ordering a variety series follow-up to the classic Mel Brooks comedy. History of the World Part 2 is described as a sequel to the 1981 film. The film was made up of segments set during different periods of world history. Among those was the Stone Age, ancient Rome, and the French Revolution. Like most of Brooks' work, it also featured musical numbers, including one about the Spanish Inquisition and, of course, Jews in space. That's the thing that I am not anti-Semitic. I have a lot of Jewish friends. My best friend growing up was Jewish.
Is there a butt coming up here?
I don't enjoy the Catskills 1950s Jewish. It's because I'm a Jew. It's like I don't. I'm like I don't. And it's with the schmaltz and the. You know what I mean? That was like a very big form of comedy throughout the 1960s and 1970s, where it always revolved around being Jewish. And I just couldn't relate to it, as a kid who was a Roman Catholic. But it's very Jewishy, his comedy. And, you can go all the way back to the producers.
Well, but isn't like Hollywood predominantly a bunch of Jews?
Well, it not so much anymore, but it was certainly
back at that time.
Absolutely.
And so they got away with that.
Well, America wasn't though. Well,
Well,
America's
but I
still
mean, if
open.
you've got the money to produce it, you kind of force it down America's throat.
It's the only thing.
Well, no, it's not so much of a forcing thing because while it is kind of its own little shtick with the Jamul and the Jamada, and I don't know what all they're saying, but they're really good at it. It's just like it's not that basketball's racist in favor of black people. They're just really good at it. That's why they dominate the NBA, because they put their mind to it and they work hard at it and they do better than other people at it. So that's the explanation on why the Jewish people are so predominant in comedy and movies and Hollywood in general. So they're really good at that shtick. That is funny. I'm a hick from the middle of nowhere, Texas, and I find that very funny.
Do
The
you? So
whole
you're
Jerry
different than me.
Seinfeld. What do you think of that? You know, it's that's it's funny.
I don't think Jerry Seinfeld is not. I see what you're saying. New York. Jerry Seinfeld to me is more New Yorky than necessarily Jewish. I mean, I don't think they ever played.
Oh, you mean New York like 50 Cent, or you mean New York like?
I mean New York Upper East Side.
Right.
Jerry
Oh,
Seinfeld
okay.
type comedy. What are you trying to suck me into something?
You mean New Yorky like kind of Nicki Minaj or Cardi B, or do you mean New York like kind of?
No, I mean, shut up. You know what I mean. And but also on that same token, I'm a big, and this is another thing people get mad. I'm a big Woody Allen fan. I think Woody Allen is really funny. I think especially his early comedy films like Bananas and Take the Money and Run and all that. I think those are hysterical movies. Not allowed to say that anymore, but I'll say it. And he was, to a degree, the neurotic Jewish sort of humor sensibility in him. I like that.
Well, the whole Larry David shtick is being Jewish. Like,
is it?
It saturates every scene of his show, and I don't think it's a bother at all.
No.
In fact, I think it adds just a little layer of exotic to make it interesting. I can only hear so many Larry the Cable Guy jokes about Bubba and Skeeter and what else. This is, a whole new world, and it's funny. And, these guys are successful and they live in nice houses and they tell funny jokes and they live interesting lives. And it's just different enough that it's cool.
Well, I don't know. I'm actually kind of pleased that Mel Brooks isn't going to be involved in the heavy lifting of this Hulu series. I'm gonna lean hard into people who I consider to be incredible comic minds like Nick Kroll, Wanda Sykes, Ike Barinholtz, and Kevin Salter.
It is kind of amusing that you think Mel Brooks would get canceled at 95 if he just came out guns blazing. But really, y'all can just circle back with me in a few years. If I'm not canceled by age 95, I want to be so disappointed.
You've done something wrong.
Yeah, I didn't try hard. I didn't put the pedal down, or I just didn't get enough notoriety to be canceled. I will consider myself a failure. Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. I'm not feeling right. I'm like sweating. Hear me breathing.
You got the flop sweats again?
I do. And I don't
take
know.
the antihistamine?
No. This weather break that we've had here is like totally cleared up.
Maybe you have malaria.
I says, no. It's just, I'm like, I don't know.
Did you take too much ivermectin? Is that what you did?
I think yeah, too much horse dewormer. Okay, so we got a couple other things we could talk about here. I've got some things loaded up in the chamber we get through. NBA is about to start, although with my mush-like ways, I'm afraid to watch my Bulls because they're supposed to be good now, and I'm just going to probably force them to not be so good. But here, I thought this was interesting. You guys want?
Who said they're supposed to be good?
Everybody. What do you mean?
Like this is what I hear from you every sports season. Everybody.
Okay. Oh, that's fine, man. No, that you haven't heard me say that about the Bulls in about 6 years. You haven't.
Because they have the ball guy.
Who's the ball guy?
Ball.
Who's the ball guy?
One of the Ball brothers.
Oh, no. He's a nice little add-on. Yeah, absolutely. He's the point guard that they've been needing for a long time. They got DeMar DeRozan. They got Vooch. They got Zach LaVine. Yeah, they're loaded, dude. Their front five is really good. We've got our three.
Loaded to what? Finish in the top 5?
Yeah.
Like playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not telling you that they're the best team in the East, but they haven't made the playoffs in 10 years. So yeah, I'm telling you they are.
Like, isn't that like? I think the NBA is like so anticlimactic because like there's always going to be either LeBron's team or Kevin Durant's team. And, I mean, those are going to be the finals more often than not. Didn't happen last year.
Yes, yeah. Well, I was going to say, I mean, you had the Milwaukee Bucks, a small market team, win it last year. And granted, I think that Brooklyn took a really hard fall with all of their injuries, and it was probably Brooklyn's to win. But hey, I mean, you're making an argument that it's always the same teams, and I'm telling you, the smallest market team in the NBA won it last year. So,
But you got to have almost like a guy like that that's a standout, or you don't have a shot. Like Dallas has got a shot because they got Luka, but they need like 2 or 3 other players.
You need 3. Yeah, you need 3 stars on your team. Absolutely.
And Porzingis may be that guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
like
know.
Lonzo might be our second, right? Porzingis might be that guy. No, look, hey, the 2 teams that I root for are the Mavericks and the Bulls, and both of them have exciting seasons ahead of them.
It's too much to keep up with. I have the same complaint I have about basketball that I have about if I liked baseball.
Too many blacks?
And soccer. No, there's too many games. I'm not watching 80 something games, dude. That's a part-time job.
That's what I like though. I record every game and I watch it, and you can fast forward. Although my pro tip for watching sports, which I unveiled today, doesn't work as well for basketball, except just skipping through commercials and timeouts.
I don't want to spend that much time watching basketball. Like that's way too. Even if I can whip through a game in an hour, that's 80 hours. That's like 2 full work weeks just to get through a regular season. I'll pick it up in the playoffs.
I would say you're probably not a basketball fan then. You're not like a diehard basketball fan. I mean,
no, I'm telling you, I'm not a diehard basketball fan. I'm not a diehard anything fan. If it's going to take me 80 hours just to get through the regular seasons, that's one of the beautiful things about football is they play 16 now 17 games.
Yeah.
And so
reality is in basketball, you just watch the 4th quarter.
Thank you.
You
right.
are not a basketball fan. You are not.
What happens in the first quarter and the second quarter and the third quarter
will be
all nonsense.
It is not. It is.
Has the team ever scored a winning basket in the first, second, or third quarter?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course not.
Right, and then they do that typical.
Compared to what? Are you comparing apples and oranges? Look, you either love the sport of basketball or you don't. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I can't.
Not whether you love it or not. It's just you get used to the way they play. Like if they're up by 20 in the first quarter, it means nothing. 20 in the second quarter, it means nothing. A team that's getting blown out in the first 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden you'll see the typical fade, and then they'll cut the lead from 20 down to 15, down to 9, down to 10. And then you get to the last 2 minutes, and it takes another hour to watch the last 2 minutes. And I don't know.
I guess I'm just spoiled, having been a.
Well, you're talking about pro tip how to watch it. Just fast forward to the 4th quarter.
Maybe if you, in your prime going out 20s, had experienced the Jordan Bulls, you'd have a different attitude about basketball. Maybe I'm just a little spoiled. No, I love that. It's probably my 3rd favorite sport, which isn't really saying much because there's only 4, and I find hockey unwatchable. And now I know that you're a big hockey fan. I feel the exact. James, how do you feel about watching hockey?
I love the sport. I love watching it. I've never played it for 1 second in my life, but I have the same problem I have with basketball. There's too damn many games.
I can't. I don't know.
All right, listen. When I first moved to Dallas, I had been sort of a casual hockey fan. If it was on TV and I'm just some teenager at home, I'll watch it. I have nothing else to do. I'm in the middle of nowhere. But when I moved to Dallas, there was this guy that was like 3 cubicles down from me. I was working on a contract for Hewlett Packard, and he was the first like real hockey fan I ever met. And he was like, "Hey, do you like the Stars?" I was like, "Sure, I like the Stars." He's like, "Well, we're watching the game tonight. You want to come over?" I was like, "Oh man, I just moved to town. I got this new job. I'm already getting invited to go see games." So there were a couple of friends over, and we watched the Stars game, and it was fantastic. 2 days later, he's like, "Hey, you want to come over and watch the Stars game?" I was like, "Didn't we just?" No, they just played. He's like, "Yeah, they have another game." I'm like, "Today?"
No, they play hockey 3 times a week.
You think they play like 1 time a week, like football?
No, I knew
they don't play every day though. Hockey doesn't play every day. 3 times.
No, they don't play every day, but they end up playing
2 games in a
2 or
season,
3 times a week. And I had to tell him like, man, I am not watching all these damn hockey games with y'all. I mean, y'all are nice and stuff, but I have a life. I have things I need to get to. I'm, trying to date girls and
Do basketball haters make any distinction between college basketball and pro basketball?
I so much more prefer the NBA than college basketball, and I'm the
Yeah, me
only
too.
person you hear that says that.
No, you just heard me too. I absolutely prefer the pro
Well, if
game.
you're
I
for
feel
the
like I'm in the
shorter
minority.
game, the college game's a lot shorter.
It is. Yeah, it's 2 bite-sized halves, and it goes by so quick.
And that's fine, but the level of talent is just eons below where the NBA is. And the whole point I'm watching the NBA is because I like watching these guys jack long threes or do some sort of 360 dunk down someone's throat, or it's the sheer athleticism that happens in the NBA that can't happen in the college because all the real talent is the one and done in the college system now, and it's drained. And I don't feel any sort of affiliation to any sort of college. I didn't go to Duke or North Carolina. The college I went to is completely irrelevant. They have a basketball team, but I've never even seen it on a television before. East Texas Baptist University, it's not rocking it. So I don't care. If I have to choose one, it's NBA, and it's not even close.
Well, here, Forbes put out their list of the most valuable NBA teams in the league for this year, and it has actually changed from last year. Do you guys have any guess on what the most valuable team in the NBA is? And do you have a guess on
Los Angeles Lakers.
No, they were the former number one. They are no longer the number one most valuable team in the NBA. And you got to guess, James?
I would have guessed Lakers, but Golden State or the Knicks?
E, you got another guess?
If it's not the Lakers,
Yep.
which I still don't believe that until I hear who the team is. Boston Celtics.
It is the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks are the most valuable team in the NBA. Do you want to have a guess at what they're valued at?
That's crap.
2.4 billion.
Yeah, sorry it disagrees with what your sensibility is, but it seems to be what Forbes is putting out there as how much? What do you think an NBA team is worth? If you want
2.4 bill.
2.4 billion. All right. E, do you have a guess? What is the New York Knicks worth?
Yeah, less than the Lakers. There's just no way. I mean, because they had one decent season.
No, it's about the market and the television revenue and all of that's what it's about.
But I mean,
the Lakers have to share with the Clippers for crying out loud.
But
that's why they dropped.
Yeah, but those jersey sales, you're going to see more Laker jerseys than you're going to see New York Knicks jerseys.
What are we doing here? $5.8 billion is what the New York Knicks are currently.
And what do they rate the Lakers at?
Well, got a guess for the number 2 team?
I'm assuming now they're going to say Brooklyn Nets.
Nope.
Okay.
What are you so angry? Boy, the Bills have really pissed in your cider, haven't they? Look at you. You're like,
no, it's just because like that just because a New York team now all of a sudden is relevant again. Somehow they've risen to the top.
No, it has nothing to do
year.
with that. They're not even. I mean, the Knicks aren't relevant. They haven't won anything yet.
They made the playoffs last year, and they hadn't made the playoffs in how many years?
Yeah, I don't really think that has anything to do with it. But, I think it's the media market that has everything to do with it. They've got, Manhattan and all of that.
So is number 2 not the Lakers?
What is your guess for number 2?
Lakers.
No, wrong. It's not the Los Angeles Lakers at number 2. Do you have a guess at number 2?
I'm sure you're going to go the Chicago Bulls.
No, number 4. Dick fuck. All right, you got a guess for number 2?
I don't want to be called the ugly names.
No,
I don't know.
You already said it. You already said it.
Golden State.
Golden State Warriors at $4.6 billion. The entire San Francisco Bay Area to themselves. They have operating income of $44 million. That's actually not that bad.
What's the operating income of the Knicks?
44 million for the Knicks, 71 million operating income for the New York Knicks. $5.8 billion is their value. Golden State Warriors is number 2 at $5.6 billion. Do you have a guess on number 3?
I just don't. No. Miami Heat.
Dude's grumpy as hell, man.
I know. He's a bad beat. I mushed him, and he's not going to have a good night's sleep. He's going to be a crank tomorrow. He's demanding that Sean McDonough be fired now.
No,
And the
not at
entire
all.
banquet
I'm
table.
shaking it off. I'm just listening
You
to
seem to be doing a really good job of shaking it
this
off.
nonsense that the New York Knicks are the #1 franchise.
The most expensive franchise, most valuable franchise at the current moment. Do we have a guess on number 3?
Lakers.
Yes. All right. Finally, the Los Angeles Lakers are number 3. Hey, dick fuck, got a guess on number 4?
That should be the Chicago Bulls.
It would be. It would be the Chicago Bulls. All right. Now, this is the interesting one. Number 5. Who is the number 5 most valuable NBA franchise at $3.55 billion? $3.5 billion.
I mean, so you're starting to see that it has to do with their market, with the exception of Golden State, I guess, because they just won so many championships.
They're in market number
recently.
4.
That's a massive market in Golden State. That's the entire Bay Area.
That's market number 4.
Yeah. It's media market.
So market number 5 is Dallas. Market number 6 is Houston. Then it goes to Philly, Atlanta, like Boston,
like
Miami.
a radio guy. You know all the media markets. There was a time
Sure
when
do.
I knew all the media
Sure
markets.
do. So yeah, if you want to go down the list, it'd have to be either the Mavericks or the Rockets. So it's not market size. So let's go.
Well, you can say, it's
Miami.
No, this is a legendary team, though. A legendary team.
The Celtics.
The Boston Celtics. There they are. The Boston Celtics. 3.55. The rest of the top 10, we've got the LA Clippers coming in at number 6. And then any guesses on number 7?
Nets.
Brooklyn Nets at number 7. Now you're getting it. What's number 8?
Mavericks. Heat.
What?
Miami Heat.
Nope.
Houston.
Yeah, Houston Rockets at number 8. Number 9, E, you got a guess for number 9?
I would say it's got to be the Mavericks if it's Houston at 8.
It is the Mavericks. There you go. Very good. Smile. You got one right.
I got more than one right. Schwartz just got it wrong.
Okay. And
fourth down.
Number 10, rounding up the top 10 most valuable NBA franchises, the Toronto Raptors. The difference between number 10 and number 1 is like $3.5 billion. The Toronto Raptors are valued at 2.48, and the New York Knicks are valued at 5.8. So there you go. All right. Anything else? We could call this early.
Urban Meyer's happy he won a game.
Yes, he is.
Keeping his job.
Apropos of nothing. Do you have any? You got anything you want to say on that? You want to?
No, I'm saying because he won a game, he's done better than any coach they've had in 2 years. 20 losses.
No.
So I mean, he's happy. Jaguar fans are happy.
11 and 12, the 76ers, the Miami Heat. 13 is the Portland Trailblazers. 14, the Sacramento Kings. Any guess on what the least valuable team in the NBA is?
Memphis Grizzlies or the Charlotte Bobcats?
Oklahoma.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
So what do you say is the least? James, give me one.
Well, I threw 2 out. Memphis Grizzlies or Charlotte Bobcats.
E, what do you say?
I would say Oklahoma.
It is the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies at $1.5 billion is the lowest team. Right above the Memphis Grizzlies at 1.53, the New Orleans Pelicans. Number 28, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then the Charlotte Hornets. And then you get into like some teams that just suck, like the Pistons and all of that. Oklahoma City is worth 1.63. That comes in at number 25. So there you have it. That was fun. That was worth it. I'm the one that feels like he's about to pass out, and you guys are like, James is strumming on a guitar, and this is a very uninspired Pillow Talk edition tonight.
I was inspired by the Babe Ruth of fake artifacts.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Oh, you know what? I was inspired earlier today. Oh man, getting into it on Twitter again, fighting them off, throwing the punches. And you know what it's about? You know what it's about now? A bunch of Chicago Bear fan bitches who are really upset with Aaron Rodgers because the fact is the fact. That dude has owned us. Chicago media today was going nuts. Only one show, a show that I absolutely like. They were like, come on, man. He does. You got to just at some point let it roll off your back. Aaron Rodgers deserves to be as cocky about his domination of the Chicago Bears in Soldier Field as anyone in the history of games. And, you know, this whole bullshit, like, okay, let me go out on a little rant here for you. This whole idea that the Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers is the greatest rivalry in football is a crock of crap. It's not a rivalry. When one team dominates the meetings over the course of almost 2 decades now, this is not a rivalry. This is like the Harlem Globetrotters taking on the Washington Generals. This is not a rivalry. And also, Chicago Bear fans, they need to do some sportsmanlike. Oh, shut up. How do you think the New York Knicks, speaking of the New York Knicks, how do you think the New York Knicks felt about Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan was the Aaron Rodgers to any number of cities, and we got to enjoy that. So now that it's our turn to take the lumps at the hands of both Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, we're going to sit there and act like a bunch of bitches? Come on. All right, there you go. That's my audition for Chicago Sports Radio. And the phone lines light up. That's how it does.
Yeah. No, I think it was a pretty solid wrap. I do think you're in the unfortunate position of how rare does it happen that a football franchise goes from a Brett Favre to an Aaron Rodgers. Is, you know, it's like the Joe Montana to Steve Young. That handoff where you have a great quarterback followed by a great quarterback almost never happens, and y'all just been on the crap end of that.
Yeah. You're right. That would probably be the only other
amazing handoff where you just go from amazing quarterback to an amazing quarterback. It does happen, but when else has it happened?
What you pointed out the one other, Montana the Young. That's it.
It had to happen some other time. It's so rare I can't think of it.
There are people I know in their 30s who have been Bear fans their entire life, and all they've ever known are Hall of Fame Green Bay quarterbacks. And we've had 20-something dime store pieces of trash that we've had to watch and run up against these guys. Speaking of quarterbacks, there was a really crazy statistic that they put up on tonight's Monday Night Football game. Josh Allen has tied Jim Kelly for most touchdown passes in the first 4 years of their career with 81. Now, that's strange, and we'll get back to that. But the guy in third place is Fitzmagic with 80. The list for Buffalo Bills quarterbacks, Jim Kelly in 4 years had 81 touchdowns. Josh Allen, through his first 4 years, also now has 81 touchdowns. But at number 80 in third place, or 80 touchdowns, is Fitzmagic. Now, I was shocked by this because to my mind's eye, Josh Allen is not at Jim Kelly status yet, except that he is. And not only is he at Jim Kelly status, he's going to blow past him because he's 6 games into his 4th year. I mean, how many touchdowns is Josh Allen going to end up with at the end of his 4th year when he's already tied with Jim Kelly at 81 after 6 games?
Yeah, and he's 13 now out of 14 on 4th and 1.
Okay. He just can't let it go.
It's too soon. Too soon, Pugs. Too soon.
Too soon. Here I am. I'm trying to give you a little something to be excited about.
He was 13 for 13 on 4th and 1, and now he's 13 out of 14.
Well, okay. All right.
Friggin' idiot.
This isn't the Titanic that happened 100 years ago. This is correct. Okay.
All right. We're going to pull the plug on this one about 10 minutes early because there's really no reason to.
What's trending topics right now?
Oh, right now? Okay.
Yeah.
What's
Bill's going for it on 4th.
Plug early. Just make them think that we plan to end this at 11:53 on the dot. We're right on time.
Well, it's okay. Let's see here. What is it? Let's see what's trending. Let's see what's trending right now.
Monday Night Football game has got to be trending.
Derrick Henry. Wow.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry is trending at number 1. Titans running back Derrick Henry dominates with 3 touchdowns and 143 yards off 20 carries. Yeah, but that's misleading because he got 76 of those on one run. I mean, man, that guy is insane. Let's see here. Then there's some comic book crap. Kyle Schwarber, there you go. Some baseball for you. Kyle Schwarber is trending. He hit a grand slam tonight. WWE is trending. And your boy McDermott is trending at number 6.
Yep. I knew it.
NFL fans discuss Buffalo head coach Sean McDermott's ultimately unsuccessful decision to go for it on 4th down at the 3-yard line instead of kicking a field goal that
Too
would
soon
into overtime. Hold on.
Well, I just knew it would be trending. Like, people have got to be like going, "What the hell?"
Let's read some of these. Let's see here. Apparently he gave a post-game press conference that people liked. I'll give you that. So apparently Sean McDermott gave I hope everyone listened to Sean McDermott's post-game after tonight's loss. That was true leadership. Let's see here. Sean McDermott, quote, "I mean, we're this far," gesturing in inches, "from winning the game. And I owe that to my players. And I believe in my players. I believe in our quarterback. So I trust my guys. Obviously, we didn't get it done in this case, but I trust my players." Apparently, that's what he said.
Oh, that's a nice spin on it.
Look, man, you got Sean McDermott. I got Matt Nagy. I can't. Unfortunately, McDermott doesn't have the same level of love nor trust that Josh Allen and the Bills offense have for their head coach. I don't know what that means. Seems like he showed too much trust, right?
Yeah, in this case, yes, he was proven to be wrong.
Greg Cash, Bills Mafia says, "Count me on team happy that McDermott went for it." Well, that seems a bit ridiculous. And you wouldn't be happy. You might be okay with the decision, but I don't know you'd be happy with the result. Okay, Josh Allen. You want to hear what Josh Allen had to say about all this?
Sure.
Josh Allen, quote, "I love that Coach McDermott trusted me, even though I went 0 for 2 in the first quarter in the red zone and couldn't get 6 inches for a first down with my 6'5", 204. I don't think that's really what he said. I think that's somebody putting a phony, unless that is what he said, on the line. "Even though I left 15 points on the board for first place in the AFC, this will fuel us." Does that sound like, kind of sounds like Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so here's a quote. Let's say this is a quote. "I love that Coach McDermott trusted me, even though I went 0 for 2 in the first quarter in the red zone and couldn't get 6 inches for a first down with my 6'5", 240-pound frame with the game on the line. Even though I left 15 points on the board for first place in the AFC, this will fuel us going forward."
Well, it did last year.
Yeah, they're going to be
After they lost to the Titans, they rattled off 12, I think, in a row.
I don't mind losing to good teams, but fuck the Titans. The Titans are not a crap team. It's not like
the same record as you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like 4-2 now.
Sean McDermott wanted the play decided by one play, not an overtime period, but he didn't expect that to be the result. Great goal line defense by Mike Vrabel's defense. That's Ed Werder, NFL's Ed Werder, putting that one out. "I still can't believe McDermott made that 4th down call to go for it. It blows my mind." That's Jack Stone.
Well, when you got the best defense in the league and the number 1 offense in the league, don't you want to get to overtime?
No, man, I would have gone for it. I would have. But look, there's probably any number of reasons why I'm not an NFL coach. One of them would be that I'm a kind of a meatball. I'd have gone for it.
But I mean, according to statistics, they had the number 1 defense and the number 1 offense. So you're going to OT and you have got to stop the other team from scoring a touchdown, which then gives you the ball if you don't win the toss, or you win the toss and you got the number 1 offense in the league that should score a touchdown. So on either case, the coin flip, you've got the better end of it statistically. And you try to win the game because you're afraid your defense can't stop their offense, or you're afraid your offense can't score a touchdown. Why do you have to make it 4th and 1 and take your? I mean, you have no chance to lose.
Look,
on one down.
I'll piss you off even more. I thought he made the first down on that third down play.
No, he didn't.
I thought, well, they had the red line on the screen. It looked like he went over the red line. To me, it looked like he made that first down. I don't know why there wasn't a challenge. I don't know if maybe you can't challenge within 2 minutes. I'm not sure, but I thought he made it on the third down.
Well, where he hit and where the ball was when he hit down, the ball was back.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, how about that catch from, was it Julius Jones? No, not Julius Jones.
Julio Jones.
Julio Jones. That kid, Tannehill threw the ball. It bounced off the helmet of the defender, shot like 20 yards in the air, and then Jones caught it by doing a sideline dive. That was one of the coolest catches that I've seen so far this year. That was a pretty cool catch.
Yeah, I thought our 2-point conversion was a pretty cool play.
Oh, yeah. The Philly special, when you ran that one.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see the replay on it where Josh Allen was telling him not to throw it, but he threw it anyway? Like Josh Allen thought that he was going to get covered or whatever, but he waves him off like that, and then the dude just throws it. And then the game started off with the weirdest. No, it didn't start off. I think this maybe after the first Buffalo touchdown early in the game, that kickoff return where they tried to do a crossfield.
They tried to do the Music City Miracle again.
It was like a little league play. It was like a Pop Warner play, and the dude threw.
Well, that was the Music City Miracle.
Except the Music
20
City,
years later.
Yeah, except that wasn't a forward lateral, an obvious forward lateral.
No, both of them were a forward lateral. That one was just a little bit more forward.
It was a duck. This one was a duck. It was, the guy was lucky he caught it. That thing went whack. It like went up. It wasn't even a nice pass. All right, there you go. We limped across the finish line on this show. I'm sorry. James, what are you doing? Your taxes? James is doing his taxes. E is like, just angry.
No, I finished my taxes.
And I'm verklempt. I'm actually feeling better than I was about a half hour ago. I could probably do another hour now. Anybody want to talk about the top 50 barbecue restaurants here in Texas? I can go on and on and on about barbecue restaurants. I got that. I got another most clever way that a guy broke up with a girl. Breakup pranks. You like breakup pranks when you break up with a girl?
Love it.
You know what this guy did?
No.
It's okay. I'll just tell you what he did because we don't have to play the video. But so he got dumped by his girlfriend. So he went around town and he put these flyers up on all of the street lamps and stuff. And the flyer said, call this number with your best Chewbacca impression for a chance to win $100. And it was his ex-girlfriend's phone number. And she's just getting flooded by people calling and going, she said she got hundreds of calls. And then they play. Well, maybe we'll play it tomorrow. Maybe that'll be the moment of joy for tomorrow's show. But you should hear these calls. She's like standing there and she's playing her voicemail. It was some news story down in Australia. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. That guy's funny. He got dumped and he decided that's harmless, right? Hurts no one.
No, it's brilliant, and it's a way that you'll get away with it. You're completely harassing her and stretching this out and making her suffer needlessly, but he'll get away with it because it's funny.
Call this number, leave your best Chewbacca impression for your chance to win $100. And it's just his girlfriend's cell phone number. And hundreds of people have called, leaving their best Chewbacca impression. Okay, folks, that's going to do it. Appreciate you coming by. We're limping across the finish line. Hey, look at us, 12:01. We went an extra minute for you because that's how we do it. We don't just limp across the finish line. Oh, James left. And he left. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow back. Come on, E. You're going to be okay. They're still going to make it to the Super Bowl. I don't see anybody in the AFC that's going to challenge them.
Whatever. Bye.
All right. There he goes. That's him. We'll be back tomorrow for High Noon. Really, very, very embarrassed about today's show. I have to apologize. Everybody was in a bad mood. And then I started to get like a little bit of weirdness happening. Flop sweat started coming. I'll be better tomorrow. We will see you back at High Noon tomorrow for the appropriately named High Noon edition of Pugs and Company. And that's right here every day, Monday through Friday on the radio